We're back in the house. You're tuned in to the Iceman Show podcast. I'm your host, the Iceman. Got a whole lot of stuff to holler at y'all about tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into this. Yo, you tuned in to the Iceman Show. More bounce to the ounce, and I say what counts. Don't nobody go home till the fat man gets it in. What's happening, chocolate people, and everybody in between? Welcome to the Iceman Show podcast. Yes, we are in the building. We're starting a little late here, but we had some technical difficulties with the equipment. I have fiber optic. I have fiber optic internet now, not that whatever that is. The cable based voice over IP internet capabilities. I said, you know what? I'm gonna pay the extra money and just get what's really good. This internet is extremely fast, and it's a lot more stable. It doesn't go off at 8 o'clock at night and not come on to 11. Man, I was having so much problems out of Comcast, man, internet. Or at 1 o'clock in the morning, it'll go off. You know, I'm a night owl. I don't sleep very well. So sometimes I'm up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to get some work done. I get on the computer. I can't even get on the internet. And boy, did I give them a scathing exit survey. Oh, I gave it to them good. And I gave it to them raw. You understand what I'm saying? And the manager called me. That ain't never happened. But I told them how crappy their internet was. I told them how I was not happy with their service. I was never happy with their service. And no matter where I've lived, and I've lived at least 2 other places where they had Comcast Xfinity, and I'm dog. If you can get away from if you got Comcast, get away from them. Spectrum ain't that much better. Spectrum is better. Before Charter and Time Warner merged to form Spectrum, I had Charter a long time ago. They were okay. Time Warner was okay. Time Warner was actually pretty good. That's the only cable company that I will really give half of a thumbs up. I mean, it's, you know, I can't quite get the thumb up in the air, but I'll give them some dap. I'll give them a little dap. Well, one dap. Okay? I'll give them that. They were decent compared to the other ones. But these other ones were garbage. I never had Cox cable. Never had Cox. I ain't had too many people complain about them. I know some of my peeps down in San Diego, that's what y'all got down there. Y'all got Cox. You digs? Anyway, want to welcome you to the Iceman Show podcast. I was trying to allow people to come into the room. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, this show operates off of donations. What we ask you to do right now, we're from January to August, I fundraise for the fall school year for book bags and clothing for Black children. And probably about the second week of August, I'm gonna stop fundraising for that and start fundraising for the Christmas drive. So we have a 501c3. We asked tonight for $10 donations. 100% of your donation is tax deductible. So in 2020, you can print out your paperwork from PayPal or from Cash App and submit that to your tax professional, and they can go from there and give you your tax write-off. But the amount, I think you got to donate more than about $200 or $300 a year. Okay. But we ask that you put us on automatic deduction, especially if you have PayPal, a weekly, like just have $5 taken out every week or $10 taken out every week. And we can go from there. Okay. But I work in the community. Now that I'm back in the Midwest, I'm going to be doing some things in Minneapolis, in North Minneapolis on the north side with our people over there. A lot of things are starting to pop off over there in North Minneapolis, where Jimmy Jan, Terry Lewis, and all them cats are from. Prince and Andre Simone, all them cats. Jelly Bean and all, and Jesse. Well, Jesse's from Illinois, but over north, I'm gonna be doing some stuff up there. Plus, I'm doing the music thing. Went and checked out some recording studios over the weekend, and yeah, man, I'm probably a little greasy. I just came from the athletic club over here, man. I found a pretty good athletic club with jacuzzi and steam room and a sauna. I get in that steam room so I can exfoliate. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Last Crucible? Hey, man, what's cracking, young blood? Hey, man. Hey, holla at me, man. Yeah, I got your email. Yeah. Let me know. Let me know where you gonna land at, man. You know, just be between me and you. You know, I don't share your information with nobody. It's all confidential between me and you, player. So you know, let me know what you got popping. Yeah, I sent an email. Yeah, I sent a response. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, because you said I'm good. I really appreciate the show. Yeah, I got that. And then I wrote, "How you doing, brother? Hope all is well." Oh no, that was the last one. Good luck with your relocation. Yeah. I sent that on Friday the 5th. You know what? I haven't been receiving email notifications on my phone here. So I don't know what's going on. I've been having some problems. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking right here. I don't see, you know, it hasn't updated since April. So yeah, this is a problem. Yeah, it says account error. Yeah. So yeah, it says the connection server is down or something at Yahoo. I don't know what's going on over there, but I know that I sent an email out last night to everybody. So that's the deal. You digs? All right, y'all. Let's get it on. Yeah. I'm having problems out of Yahoo, man. I might need to just go straight Gmail and be done with it. Anyway, like to welcome you guys again to the Iceman Show podcast. Love to have you guys join us. We talk about issues that Black people face in the Black diaspora, and we want to try to make sure we are abreast of the goings on in Black America. Oh man, this chick gonna sit up here and gonna sit up there and text me now. Okay, let's see, Sandra. Let me take care of this real quick, y'all. Okay, let me get her straight. Okay, y'all. I don't know if y'all heard about this, man. And I read this story last week, player. Check this out, man. There was a white dude in Vegas. This fool, let me tell you what this fool did. This dude dressed up in blackface and put on an afro wig and tried to rob a Las Vegas Boulevard Strip casino. Now, I don't have to tell y'all too much more about this story, but you could pretty much guess how it ends. Dude ends up getting arrested with his dumb ass. And the cops realized that this guy was not a black guy because, first of all, black people's skin don't look like shoe polish. Okay? That's the first thing. Secondly, I think any one of us, including a 2-year-old child, can tell an afro wig from a real afro. You digs? Just ridiculous. Okay? See, you have to understand something. These woods, a lot of these woods out here, they know how much of a pariah that the black man has been made into. You know, I did a lecture probably about 7 years ago called "The Black Man is the American Boogeyman." And a lot of cats, a lot of older cats was with it, but a lot of young guys got offended. Why, I don't know. I think what it is you got a lot of these little young brothers who grew up in this so-called post-racial Obama administration era. And so you got a lot of young black men and young black women who start throwing words out there like intersectionality, which really doesn't amount to nothing but I think I can get sex. I think I can have sex with somebody who's non-black. That's really all that means. And they have been fooled into thinking that racism does not exist. And then when they go to Starbucks and use the bathroom and get arrested, then it's like, oh snap, there's racism. So a lot of young blacks don't want to hear about, now don't get me wrong, but some of these young brothers are old, so straight G's. You know, some of these young brothers black first straight up, but there's a lot of Sambos and Coons who are young cats too. And a lot of these Sambos and these Negro bedwenches, these young folks that you see out here that, you know, you see them at the movies, they got the little white girl with them or they got the little white dude with them. It ain't very long before they start calling you the N-word. Because, you know, they see you as a fuck nigga. See, that's what even my sons had this problem. They have this problem because they haven't been educated because, you know, their mama's ignorant. Then her husband is a little ignorant, little troll. So when you in a house full of ignorant people who's trying to keep the truth away from you, obviously you are going to be sold a plate full of bullshit. So you end up being a young fuck nigga. Okay? That talk shit on text messages and emails, but then when you see them in person, all of a sudden they bitch up. That's what you see with a lot of these young guys. That's why you see these young Mexican and Central American dudes running up on these brothers, socking them in the head because you a fuck nigga. You got fuck nigga energy. See, ain't gonna roll up on me and do that shit because they know I whoop their ass. And if you roll up on me like that, I'm gonna try to kill you. I ain't gonna just whoop your ass. I'm gonna kill you. That's a promise. I'm gonna be in prison, dog. And your bean eating ass, your frijole eating ass is gonna be behind that. You're gonna be in that gated community called a cemetery. Rolling up on me like that, because I ain't the fuck nigga. I'm the real nigga. You dig? But the reason why that type of stuff happens is because you got fuck nigga energy. You letting them run up on you, calling you mayate and nigger and all this shit, and you don't do shit. You digs? So it's easy for people in the dominant society, the white status quo, to some of them to adopt certain white supremacist tactics in order to save their backside from criminal prosecution. So it makes sense for them to put shoe polish on, look like a fool. I don't know no black people that walk around looking like they got shoe polish on. And it's an insult. But this dude went blackface and a fake afro wig to try to rob a casino. And he'll be probably getting about 15 to 20 years for that shit. And I hope the brothers bust his ass out when he get to the joint. You digs? Because he probably over there in Clark County lockup right now. You digs? I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Mitch McConnell, your Senate Majority Leader, nice guy, real nice guy. As you know, he's a friend of the black man. You digs? And come to find out, old Mitch McConnell, Playboy, his great-great-grandpappy, owned some slaves. Now, at face value, I know what you're thinking. I said ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new, Ice. Come on, player. See, I always read for the devil in the details. You dig what I'm saying to you? Now, when I read part of the article, I didn't read the whole article, but I read part of it. I read the most important, juicy parts of the article. And what made me laugh is that all 14 slaves were women. So you can imagine what Mitch McConnell's great-great-grandpappies was doing, being that they had all female slaves. Two things were at play here. Number one, they were raping them for breeding purposes, well, for their own perverted, predatory satisfaction. But they were also, in breeding them, but they were also, were pimping them. Now, because of the blaxploitation films during the blaxploitation era, during the 70s and part of the 80s, they always made these movies where black men were either selling dope or they were pimping or they were both. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Okay? European Caucasians have always been predatory with each other. And so when they say that pimping and hoeing is the oldest profession, that's not true, because that was not going on on the continent of Africa, because black people didn't live that kind of lifestyle. Okay? We didn't do vile stuff like, making a woman or asking a woman to sell her body for money. We didn't do that. That don't come from us. That comes from Europeans, because they're predatory, they're perverted, and they're lazy. And only a lazy woman goes out here and sells pussy, whether legally or illegally. You know what the hell I mean by that. If you out here trading a blowjob for expensive dinner at Morton's the Steakhouse, you selling pussy. Let's just keep it 100. If you fuck a nigga after he take you to Pittsburgh Blue, you are a hoe and a prostitute. And you pimping yourself out. That's what we call renegade hoeing. Because you don't have a pimp. You don't have a sponsor. The first pimps in this country were white slave owners who would pimp out their black female slaves to other slave owners, but just white males in general. And how black men got into pimping was on these really large plantations, or these plantations where maybe the slave master wasn't brutal. He wasn't a brutal slave master. The black men would, pimp out some of the female slaves to make money. That's where we got it from. But we got it from them. So don't get it twisted. See, they from the blaxploitation films and some of these other old disrespectful films about black people, they always got to make black folks look stupid or look, violent or look pathetic. So if a black man puts on a suit and a hat. They're like, oh, you look like a pimp. And where that pimp garb comes from is from slavery. What like I said, on plantations where there was a little less, restrictions. Maybe on Sunday they let the slaves dress up in nice clothes. That's where Sunday best comes from. So they'll let them wear some halfway decent clothes. They let them bathe. And then they let the black preacher administer church services to them. And they would tell them what scriptures to read. And they only read the scriptures that the slave master picked out that fortified his position as a slave master. That's where all that making Jesus look white shit comes from. When we know Jesus was black. And if Jesus was black, then God is black. That's why every now and then you hear me say, giving honor to a black God. That's right, black folks. You are a descendant of the Almighty. This is why you are so smart and so athletic. Now, we've been admixing with these Woods over here and some of these other folks who are copies of the original man and woman, us. The black man and woman never evolved. We came on earth with the knowledge of God. That's why we were performing brain surgeries in Egypt. We created the aerospace industry. The Wright brothers wasn't the first aviators. Okay? Balloon technology, we know where the helium, the heated balloons, there's pictures of that stuff on the walls in the pyramids in Egypt. Go read it. Go look this up. You think I'm lying? Go look this up. There's pictures of helicopters. Let me say this. The Caucasian race has never created anything. They have never, ever, ever created a motherfucking thing. All they did was steal technology from us, create a legal system where they can patent this stuff, and then they stole it from us. This is why the black man and the black woman who is a descendant of enslaved African people must be paid reparations from 1492 up into present day. Because present day, we still have Jim Crow. We just got a more sophisticated, sinister form of Jim Crow. Medicine comes from Africa. Aerospace engineering comes from Africa. Political systems comes from Africa. Chess comes from Africa. Soccer comes from Africa. All the musical instruments come from Africa, not from Europe. Though all Europeans did was kill each other, have sex have homosexual activities going on, as well as heterosexual activities going on. They come from a long line of pedophiles and having sex with babies. We don't come from that. So if you got an uncle or a nephew or somebody that's in your family raping women or raping children, he got that from them. He got that poison from them, not us. Let's keep it funky. I'm tired of black folks walking around with their head down, being ashamed of themselves. That's because you are a product of American white supremacy. When they brought Africans over here to the United States, there was nothing here. Them crackers knew nothing about agriculture. That's why they would go to certain regions of the coast of Africa, West Africa, and get Africans who knew how to grow that kind of food. There were Africans from certain parts of like Senegal who knew how to grow rice. Rice comes from Africa, not Asia. Now, we walked all the way over there to Asia with that technology already, and with the seeds, and maybe they have more of a rice-based diet than anybody else around the world, though there some Africans who eat a lot of rice. But rice comes from Africa, not from China. And there was no China. And black woman walked their ass over there. Oh, we're going to get real tonight. You might want to tell the kids to go in the other room because it's about to get real funky up in here. Because I live in a 99.9% Caucasian city. I'm not in the Twin Cities, but I ain't that far from there. And let me tell you something. I really ain't had too many problems with any of these Caucasians here. But there are some that kind of I could tell their wheels were turning, and I could tell they might have wanted to run up and say some stupid shit. And they kind of looked at me and was like, nah, I think I better back up off that nigga right there. Okay? Because you ain't gonna run up on me before I lay your ass flat. Okay? I don't play that shit. I am a concealed carry weapons permit holder. Okay? And I have many different types of weapons, firearms. But I also got pepper spray for your ass too. And I keep that in my car right near my hands. So I can just reach over there, right in your face. I ain't gonna hit you, dog. I ain't gonna break my hand unless I really, I have no choice but to, go ahead and slang them things. Every time I turn, that's one reason I really have grown, other than watching TV for my research, to do my podcast, my two podcasts, the Iceman Show podcast, which is during the week. And on Saturdays, we have the Player Circle podcast, which is all dating and relationships. During the week, we talk about socio-political, economic issues that face African Americans and Black people within the whole Black diaspora. You dig? And, I live here. I've been through here before. When me and my cousin had to bring his son down here a couple of times for track when he was in high school. And we spent a couple of nights here. And we hung out. We met people, talked to people. It was cool, But this is still a country town. It's still a country. It's not real. I won't call it a bedroom community. Some people might, but yeah, it's a little more, a lot of religious people, a lot of churches here, a lot of churches and a lot of daycares. You see daycares you see more daycares than you do liquor stores. You in a country ass town when you ain't got when your town don't have their own grocery store. All they got here is Walmart. No, take that back. They got Hy-Vee here. And boy, that's the perfect name for that store. Hy-Vee. That's why I ain't been in one. I ain't been in one since I moved here. I don't fuck with Hy-Vee. Because when I lived in Iowa, that's all that was, it was a Hy-Vee that was like a block away from my house. I only shopped there because I had to. Otherwise, I went to Sam's Club. Okay? I love Sam's Club. I was at Costco yesterday got this chair from Costco, put it together. No, I got this from Office Depot. That's where I got this from. Because I couldn't, they didn't have one in there. All they had was recliners. I ain't pushing no recliner up no stairs. Okay? That ain't gonna happen. I barely got me and my neighbor barely got the recliner I used to do the show when I had my other place in Washington State. Barely got that mug in the door. I don't know why these people make these doorways so small, man. They act like you ain't gonna bring nothing in the house. Okay? But I got, a pretty big garage, so I don't have to keep everything in the house like I usually do. I ain't gotta pay for no storage, everything. Everything I own is within these few walls, which is, something I've been needing for years. You dig? But anyway, Christianity handicaps Black people challenging white supremacy. And the reason why you have so many scary niggas, is because Black people equate the phenotype of the so-called Jesus figure. They equate it. I said that wrong. They equate Caucasians, the Caucasians that we come in contact with on a daily basis. We equate them with God, the Trinity, Jesus, the Holy Ghost, and God himself. And so Black people, with us still having that slave mentality, it has been ingrained in our brains for the last 500 some years that any white man or any white woman represents Jesus and God himself. So when these people step to you with some bullshit and fuckery, you immediately defer. And what I mean by that is you let them shit on you. Let's just keep it gangster. You allow them to fuck over you and even kill you without you even responding at all. You see this in every facet of American society, whether it's at the job, whether it's at the grocery store, at the athletic club, or even you walking in your neighborhood, if you're in a mixed neighborhood. Okay? That's one thing that used to get on my ex-wife. That used to get on my nerves. My ex-wife. My ex-wife was a mammy. Every time a white person came around, she was just cheesing and ass kissing and butt licking. And that shit got on my nerves. You dig? So I said to myself, if I ever end up in another relationship with a black woman, she better not be no mammy. She better not be a Negro bedwench, and she better not be no coon. Okay? If you exhibit any of those traits, I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm a dip. Because I ain't gonna be with somebody like that, and I'm gonna end up criticizing your ass. I don't like criticizing nobody in no relationship, but that kind of shit, I'm gonna say something to you about that because I ain't no coon. You dig? And so when somebody like me comes in contact with Caucasians and they come with the fuckery, especially if they haven't done their due diligence and checked me out first, when they see my response, it always catches them off guard because they like, where you from? Because the niggers around here let us fuck over them. Nah, dog, I ain't from around here. And I will get with you. Okay, you roll up on me, I'm gonna roll you up. That's how I do. And some of you do. I don't care about no going to jail. I don't care about going to jail. Because I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna stand up here like a grown man and represent. And a lot of these folks, a lot of these Caucasians don't like that because they're so used to your granddaddy kowtowing or my daddy kowtowing and kissing ass and sucking ass every time they see a white person. They expect you to be the same kind of coon and Sambo and mammy. And when you don't exhibit those kinds of behaviors, then they're even more insecure because for them to expect you to act like that is to make them feel at ease. And I ain't about making Caucasian people feel at ease no more than anybody else. You don't get special treatment like that. You ain't got it like that. I don't see you as being above me. But I'm not gonna be disrespectful. Let me holler at the YouTube cast for a second. Hey man, look here. Let me tell you, YouTube, let me tell you something. Hopefully you guys got my email last night. Okay? Y'all are coming up show. Real show. You digs? We not gonna get in it. We look, guys, let me tell you something. Nothing is free. Okay? We need to raise $100 tonight. Okay? That's Facebook and YouTube. If you want this show to continue, and when I mean continue, I'm not talking about just cutting the show off tonight. I'm talking about period. Because I could have done the show even while I was on the road, but I was like, no, the support ain't there. Y'all better start donating. Okay? Just cut the shit, man. You don't like how I do business? Step. Take your freeloading ass on. But what we not going to do is expect the same 3 or 4 people to step up, donate, while you sit here with your dick in your hand trying to get a free laugh. That ain't how we getting down, dog. I got other shit to do. I got my grill out here ready to throw some steaks and some burgers on. You digs? Now, I ain't going to do the show all night tonight anyway. But I will cut the show short. And I apologize to all the players, Last Crucible, some of y'all other brothers, Ty Cromwell, Triple T Kill. Hey, I apologize to y'all. But again, unfortunately, we have so many black men and women who are freeloaders, who don't contribute a motherfucking thing, but they got their hand out like this. I've had people Cash App me talking about ICE. Don't even send an email or nothing. Talking about I request $50. And my response is, you can request these nuts. That's my response to you. Request these nuts. So we gonna have the fuck nigga shit tonight with but people not donating. Dog, I got other shit to do. We need to stop playing. Look, these Facebook folks, a lot of these folks are church folks. They scary niggas. A lot of them don't support black-owned businesses. I expect that out of them. But again, my show ain't just for one or two people. My show ain't just for one or two people. You dig? So I got to lay the groundwork because I'm looking at PayPal right now and I'm looking at donuts. Ain't nobody donated. A couple of people donated on Cash App, but nobody has donated on PayPal. Come on, guys. We got to do better. If Richard Spencer can get people to donate to him, give him to donate to him and donate to him $500,000 a year, you can donate $5 or $10 instead of being a jive nigga sitting up here watching me, but you got your arms folded. Man, you call me a corporate coon. Yeah, you are a corporate coon. You are a corporate slave. Just because you got a college degree and you in a fraternity or sorority and you working amongst them woods over there where you at, don't make you better than these blue collar brothers out here that work for a living. You ain't no better than them. And as a matter of fact, you are more of an insult because here you are making 80 and 90 or more thousand a year and you don't do nothing but fuck your money off on buying toys, cars, clothes, and hoes. You ain't got $5 to your name because you pay $4,000 a month for a house note, trying to impress somebody, trying to keep that dirty foot broad in the house so she won't leave your ass. But you overextended, and you know I'm talking to you. So let's not start off on the wrong foot tonight, fellas. Let's not do that. You know how I get down. I go hard in the paint. And if you are not appreciative of what I do, I go elsewhere. If we don't start meeting these fundraising goals every time I do a live stream, there will be no more live streams. I will go back to paid subscriptions only. And I still have people who pay that $30 a month. And I do videos, private videos for them. And I will continue to do that. Because some of you guys just don't get it. You think I'm playing with you. So if we don't raise the money, we don't meet our fundraising goals, then I'm shutting the show down. And unfortunately, I'm sorry to all the people that support this show with donations every time or every other time. Hey, I apologize to you, brothers and sisters, but these janky niggas are making it hard for everybody. I shouldn't have to stop the show to tell you how to be a man. I expect these black women to be janky and selfish and not want to support any kind of black business because that's how they get down. Because black women have very low self-esteem and they want acceptance from the dominant society so much that they will spend all their money on shoes and clothes and all kind of other dumb shit trying to get status. And all you look like is an over-leveraged nigga with a bunch of dumb shit you can't sell. So what you got Louis Vuitton luggage you spent 10 grand on, but you can't even go out for a drink because you paying them credit cards every month. Out here fronting. Anyway, black people, especially you church niggas, black people see all Caucasian people as they slave master. They see all Caucasian people as their boss, whether it's in life or in their professional life. Doesn't matter. They see them as a slave, their slave master, and they also see all Caucasian people as being an extension of God. And that couldn't be further from the truth. That's a motherfucking historical lie. How can somebody so evil and so poisonous even to other Caucasian people, they're poisonous. But they're really poisonous on the different races of the world, the indigenous people of the world, black people. They're so hateful towards you because you have all the things physically and mentally that they don't have. So they're always trying to tweak science and tweak genetics to try and give them a leg up because they're always the slowest. They're always the dumbest. But they have white supremacy on their side. And so when all else fails and everything else breaks down, they can always fall back on white supremacy. That's why I tell you black guys or you black women who want to swirl and get you a Caucasian zaddy or a Caucasian mommy, just know that in American society, as far as social capital, they're here and you're way down here. And I don't care if that Caucasian woman is letting you beat the pussy to smithereens every night. You still a nigger. And when she gets up out of that bed, she's still practicing white supremacy. How do I know? Because I done fucked too many of them. I done dated too many of them. I've lived with too many of them. And all of them come with the same bullshit. Not trying to put nobody down. I'm just giving you the real. So you get mad if you want to. Those of you brothers that just got to have you a white woman, or you black women that just got to have you a zaddy. You can go get zaddy all you want, but when he call you nigger and nigger bitch, don't come back over here. Don't bring your ass back over here. You want to be a Negro bed wench? Do that shit on your own time. But don't bring your ass back over here expecting to get in with black society. You are an outcast. But you have to understand. So when you have these church niggas, and then you have these Negroes who don't go to church, but they still see pale, colorless skin as superior to your brown skin, the seeds of self-hate have been planted. A lot of these seeds have been planted during your childhood by your parents. If you got coons for parents, if you got a coon for a parent, if you got a coon for a parent, or a Sambo or a mammy for a parent, guess what? They're going to impart their sick ideology on you. And you're going to grow up a baby coon, a baby Sambo, and a baby mammy. How many times have you seen these white supremacists getting at work for some black men or other black women, and then you see some fat ass, dark skinned mammy jumping all in talking about, don't hurt him. He a child of God. Don't hurt him. He ain't no damn child of God because he don't come from God. How can a godless human, how can a godless person teach you about religion? Huh? You letting a godless, predatory, perverted, white supremacist piece of dog shit provide you with an education, provide you with religion, with a religion, and you wonder why you in last place in America or in the Western Hemisphere, whether you're in Latin America or you're in Europe or you're in the United States or Canada, you at the bottom. And you ain't got sense enough to see it. You digs? Yeah, we all come from a black woman, but they don't teach that in school. What they teach you in school is that everybody come from Caucasoids and that the Caucasoids are intelligent and you evolved from apes. That's what they teach you in school. What they don't teach you is the truth, is that you are an extension of God and Jesus was black. That's what they don't teach you in religion in Sunday school. Well, let me say this here. I live in a very heavily Christian city, and there are churches and there are churches and there are daycare centers on every damn block. So they cater to families who go to church and who need childcare. And you go in these places and you look at the literature they have in there for the, if not for the children, the curriculum for the children, or for Sunday school, and all the books got Jesus looking like the lead singer of the Doobie Brothers. And they have all these other folks sitting around white Jesus as he teaches the word. See, I grew up with that kind of shit, and I knew it was bullshit then. I didn't have to get taught by the Nation of Islam to figure that shit out. Black people have the DNA of every race on this planet. All the other races, Asians, Native Americans, it's really not a race, but we use these classifications in this country or in the Western Hemisphere to promote white supremacy. But, you know, keeping within those confines, and for your understanding, let's just leave things the way they are. Asians, which you can include Eskimos and folks like that, Indians, all them fall into Asians, Mongoloids. That's what the racist ass education system teaches you. Then you have the Caucasian. No, excuse me. You have the Asian, then you have these Latinos who really are nothing more than Spanish-speaking black people. Okay? They are an admixture of some Amerindians from those regions of the world mixed with black and Spanish or Portuguese. That's what makes up Latin America. With all, now we have the one you need to pay close attention to is the Caucasian. Now, these other races, Asians, Latinos, whatever you want to call them, they have the DNA for their race. The Caucasian is the only one who doesn't have the genetic code even for themselves. That's why when you, like, if I have relations with a Caucasian woman and I get her pregnant, what is the baby going? What the baby going to look like? Who you think the baby going to look like, her or me? Now you can go all the way back to the one drop rule and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. It is what it is. But if I have a baby with a Caucasian woman, that child is black. Why? Because my genes are dominant and hers is recessive. Now, if you didn't learn this shit in biology, you had a sorry ass biology teacher or professor. See, they ain't gonna teach you the truth. You're gonna get more college education here than you did when you got that punk ass degree. And all of this ain't Nation of Islam talk for all you stupid ass niggas out here that always want to equate knowledge of self as be, oh, you didn't want them hotep niggas. You want them woke niggas. I ain't none of that. You want them pro-black niggas. You know what, you dumb fool? You ought to be pro-black too, you dumbass. You go to any business around the country, and if a black man, especially if he's my age or older, goes to the door, as soon as he turn around and see white folks, he'll turn around and cheese and grin and buck dance and give those and make sure he stands there like a doorman in 1960, holding the door open for these Caucasians. And as soon as your black ass walk up, here you go. Hurry up and get in there. Don't even hold the door for you. Have y'all dealt with this? Because I've dealt with that shit a lot, as particularly with old black men. Hi, how you doing? Just grinning and just yucking in all the white folks' faces. And as soon as they see you, it's like, that's why sometimes I don't even go to certain businesses if I see a coon or a mammy working in there, because I know how they're going to act. You get that a lot in Stank Antonio. You get that a lot down there, especially with black women, because most of the black women in San Antonio are garbage. They're ghetto. They got a gang of kids, and they just rotten crotch, dirty foot hoes. The only decent black women, I say this all the time, the only decent black women in San Antonio are veterans and military. That's it. If they from San Antonio, they are garbage. And you go to places like Walmart and they just cheesing. How you doing? Just grinning all in the white folks' faces. And then as soon as you walk up, you want paper or plastic, nigga. You get that. That's what you get. And you know what? When I get that kind of shit, I'll be like, where's your manager? Why you want to talk to my manager? Why you want to talk to my manager? Because I want to make sure you lose your job, bitch. Oh, Memphis too. I heard Memphis. Boy, them black women in Little Rock and Memphis. Boy, the black women in the South, I mean, they garbage. A lot of these black women are garbage all over the country. But particularly in the South, that crack shit and that single mom epidemic has destroyed Southern black women. It's hard to find a decent black woman in the South. It's hard to find a decent black woman anywhere that ain't ghetto and ratchet and hood radish. It's hard, man. That's why a lot of brothers that don't have no patience, they just fuck with Becky's. They'll just like, man, hey, bro, I hear you, Ice. But I fuck with the Beckys. I don't fuck with sisters no more. And I'm like, hey, bro, I can't blame you to a certain degree. Now, if you with a Becky that's pimping your ass and you whining and dining that raggedy bitch, then I'm looking at you sideways, nigga. I'm looking at your ass sideways, especially if you got an ugly Becky or a fat Becky with all them rotten ass, dirty ass, Super Friends pajamas wearing dirty ass half black kids walking around the store with dirty ass Flintstone pajamas and house shoes. Now, if you one of them type of niggas, I ain't got no respect for you. Okay? He said, Timothy Kill said, that old spilled blood on the Edmonds Pettis Bridge in Selma type of Negro. Exactly. Black women back in the 70s and the early 90s, oh my God. Even during the crack era, it was some sisters still representing, man. That's why, guys, let me say that. I know this show ain't about dating, but let me say this before we get back to the subject. Brothers, that's why stop thinking you can go to church and find a decent black woman. The hood rats have invaded church. Okay? Now, back in the 80s, in the 90s, we used to go to the church and pull sisters out of there. Let me tell you something. You can't do that no more. There's nothing but hood rats in church and old black women. That's it. Now, I know you don't want, fuck with somebody your granny age. Okay? But though all you see in church with black women is a bunch of single moms who done fucked their life up. Now they running after white Jesus. Talking about white Jesus can fix it. White Jesus, he can fix it. Oh, I love me some white Jesus. They just in there singing. Where your prayers going to? Because if your prayers are going to a white Jesus and a white God, no wonder they ain't being answered. But that's a show of another name. You digs? But Christianity has black folks fucked up because we equate pale skin, Caucasian people with God. And they are the most godless people. God didn't create the Caucasian. Our migrating to the Caucasus Mountains in Russia created the so-called Caucasian race. And as you can see, they are a bane on the existence of all the other races on the planet. They have destroyed this planet. They are polluting the air every chance they get. They're polluting all the streams and rivers. You can't go to the creek no more and fish like you did 50 years ago. You can't do any of that because Dow Chemical and DuPont and all the other chemical companies and metal companies and all these other companies out there are dumping all that nasty ass poisonous chemical water, chemical solutions right in the lakes, right in the rivers, right in the ocean. And ain't none of us saying a motherfucking thing about it. The only clean streams and rivers and lakes you can fish at are up there in Canada. That's why when you go up there on fishing ship, one of them fishing, you go to one of them fishing resorts up there where they got all that largemouth bass and all that delicious fish in them lakes and shit up there. They won't let you bring that shit back over the border. They be like, you got to consume that shit before you leave. You can't bring no fish back. And if you try to, they're going to pull your ass over. They're going to like, sir, pull over there. And they're going to search your car. And they're looking for drugs and food, particularly that type of shit, like fish. Or some niggas go up there and get caribou and try to bring it down here. You can't do that shit down here. You can't bring that, but you try to go fishing around here in this country. There ain't too many states in this country that you go to, they got clean lakes and rivers. Some of the areas where, like in this area where I live in, this whole corridor, yeah, there's a lot of good land, a lot of good streams, and a lot of good rivers that ain't been totally polluted. But you go up there to Duluth, or you go down to the Twin Cities. That's why I moved to a city that's up and coming. Okay, they ain't got growing pains yet, but they clearing out a lot of farmland. Because where my house is right here, I'm looking out my window. It wasn't nothing but farmland over here 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Nothing but farmland. So all they got over here is brand new apartments and brand new houses, and they're all mixed in together. One over here, you got a big ass apartment complex. It's like 4 stories, brand new, right here. Then right here, all on this block ain't nothing but either townhouses or houses. Across the street is a big ass field. They're gonna start building houses right here. Across the street is this real nice bar over here. And then they got a little strip mall, and then they got number houses, and on the corners they got another apartment complex. Yeah, Nashville's a nice city. If I didn't, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for that Southern culture, I would move. I probably would have stayed in Atlanta, but I wouldn't have stayed. I actually never lived in Atlanta. I lived 40 miles northeast of Atlanta. I wasn't even in Fulton County. I was out in the country because I ain't gonna pay them high ass insurance rates. So, real talk, I would love to move to a city like Nashville. Nashville popping. I heard Nashville was popping. Southern culture is just that white paternalistic type of mentality. It's like, it's more in your face than the white supremacy in the rest of the country. It's like, okay, we keep our niggas down here. Okay? We keep our niggas in their place down here. That's their mentality. Although they do that all over America. You dig? Let's see something here, man. Last I checked, I ain't got no roommates. Oh, that fly's on the other side of it. I thought that motherfucker was up in here. I was like, I'm about to raise holy hell. I said, motherfucker, I ain't got no roommates up in here. You're going to have to pay rent up in here. Yeah, Nashville's starting to get a lot of people from other parts of the country. That's why Nashville's popping. Let me tell you something. A lot of these southern cities, if it wasn't for people coming from somewhere else, they'd be shit. Okay? The reason why Houston's popping is because people come from somewhere else, or money comes from somewhere else. Atlanta's popping because of the East Coast brothers and sisters who came down there and made it popping. That came down there to go to Morehouse. They came down there to go to, Spelman and Clark Atlanta and all those schools. So a lot of those brothers and sisters stayed because it was cheap. And back then, back in the 80s and 90s, Atlanta was popping. That was the best time to be in Atlanta up until about 03, 04. Now, I got a Southern accent, brother. Hey, my parents, my whole family's Southern. So I ate chitlins, pig feet, all that good stuff, bruh. Okay, I know how to plant. I know how to plant vegetables. I know how to do all that shit. The only thing I don't know how to do is tending livestock. That's the only thing I don't know how to do. But as far as growing food, I know how to do that. Because I got a little speck of land over here on the side of my, like kind of adjacent to my front porch. And I'm gonna plant some tomatoes and stuff out there, man. You digs? But the South used to be a beautiful place. I love being from the South. I love spending time in the South. But when them devils put that crack cocaine in the South, they just destroyed it. They destroyed it, man. The South was a place where those of us who lived in other parts of the country, whether it be Chicago, LA, New York, uh, 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 you know, other Midwestern cities, Indianapolis, that was where we went to enjoy our family and get some home cooked food. Although my mom cooked, great food, but ain't nothing like getting your grandmama's cooking. Ain't nothing like your granny sending you out the door with a sausage egg biscuit. You dig what I'm saying to you? Because it was about as big as a Big Mac. But she was doing all that running around, so you ate that sausage egg biscuit and you was hungry 5 minutes later. Oh, yeah. I got an LA accent too. Yeah. Southern California accent. We accentuate our R's. Okay. But the beauty of Black people, that beautiful, because it's an inward outward thing. That I don't see that beauty in Black people no more because of that drug shit. I don't see that anymore in Black people because of the single mom epidemic that they thrust upon us. You have to understand, Black man, Black woman, that in America, you are the white supremacists in the Western Hemisphere has made you a commodity. You are a product. You're not a human being to them. And so when you deal with them, it's always some self-serving shit with them. Understand what I'm saying to you? I'll give you an example. The last place where I was living in Washington State, my assistant property manager was this little phony ass little young white dude who he's probably about 27, 28 years old. He was married. And so when I first moved in, their unit was in my building. So they were maybe 2 doors down from me, 2 or 3 doors down from me. So almost every time I came out of my apartment, either he or his wife would be out there walking their little punk ass little dog. And so she would like his wife was this okay looking, maybe about a 5 white girl. She was, she had a typical flat butt and she wasn't skinny, but she had some little hips on her. But I noticed when I moved in, she had that kind of look on her face like, oh, tell me, she was expecting me to be luring at her. And so what I would do is I would totally ignore her ass. I'd look the other way. And then after a while, after she saw me, when she would see me, she would have this perturbed look on her face because she can't get some self-serving purpose out of me. You have to understand, a lot of these non-Black women love Black men luring at them because a lot of brothers are always trying to get some non-Black cooch. So we're always any little friendly nothing coming from these other races of women. You just jump out your drawers. You just, oh my gosh, she wants me. She like brothers. I hate when I hear Black men say that. They ain't into brothers, dog. They into their own men. They just use Black men. Now, every now and then, you might get a genuine Asian woman or a Becky or a Hispanic chick that might not be on that bullshit, but most of them are. Most of them will still be calling you nigger and be dating you and marrying you and having children with you. And see, that's the stuff that confuses Black people, is that Black people always want that smoking gun. Black people always are looking for the Richard Spencer types. They're always looking for the Donald Trump types. They're always looking for the outright racist, the outright white supremacists. We're always looking for that guy, and never looking for the Bidens or the Obamas. Yeah, I said Obama because Obama had more than enough contempt for black people. Okay? And that's why a lot of people, not my words, but a lot of black folks say that he is a white man in blackface. And his behavior supports that. Okay? That's why 8 years later, Detroit looks the way it does. Gary, Indiana still looks the way it does. Chicago, South Side, West Side still look the way it does. The South Central LA looks the way it does. Parts of New York City where black people live look the way it looks because of benign neglect. And that's why we deserve tangible reparations. And you can sit there and pay attention, waste time paying attention to these stupid debates all you want. Elizabeth Warren ain't gonna get elected. Klobuchar ain't even gonna, she probably will stick around for a few more months, but she ain't gonna make it probably past January 2020. Stalwell already dropped out with his sorry ass, unknown ass. Now some white billionaire, some white dude, some left of center white dude. Now he St. Meyer or Mayor or something like that. Now he's in the race. Ain't no billionaire gonna help the working man. Look at Donald Trump. Has he helped the working man? I'll let you figure that out. That's true. That's true, Last Crucible. The drugs and bad diet have destroyed us. That's why I stopped eating all that junk food. I never really got deep into junk food, but when my money was fucked up, I had to buy what I could afford. Because I remember one time, this woman on the news was interviewing this black woman in a grocery store. She said, well, how come, you can't afford to get a lot? I'm looking at your basket. I don't see a lot of vegetables and stuff like that. She was like, vegetables are expensive. Fresh fruits are expensive. I can't afford that stuff. So what you do as a poor person is that you go buy foods that just fill your belly up, or fill the bellies of your children up, and that's it. But they provide no sustenance, provides no nutrition. And as a black melanated person, your diet is different from that of other people. You have to eat the food that you ate over there in Africa. Now, you may not be able to find the exact equivalent, but turnips, root type vegetables, green vegetables, even though in Africa, green vegetables are not they're depending on where you live. Okay, you eat that stuff, but you have to understand, when we got colonized and imperialized, we took on the mentality and the diet of our slave masters. So in Europe, I used to live in Europe. They eat a lot of bread in Europe. Whether you're in Italy, Germany, Germans eat a lot of bread. But their bread doesn't have all the chemicals in it that they make over here. Their bread is homemade even in the grocery store. So when you eat bread in Germany, you don't get all bloated. You don't get gas. I was eating bread like a motherfucker over there. And they got so many different types of bread. We only have a handful of breads over here. Over there, they got like probably 100 or more. And none of them make you sick. I lost so much weight when I lived in Europe. I used to go run every day. That's how good I felt. Soon as I got back to America, all my joints start hurting. And my weight just went right up. The only reason why I'm a lot thinner right now is because of that move. I lost 20 pounds. Okay? And I'm not gaining it back. Yeah, honey buns and Doritos for breakfast. Exactly. Ain't got no respect for their children. But that's that ignorance. See, that's that desperation single mom mentality, though. Like I used to go to homeless shelters to talk to veterans. And you go to these homeless shelters and all they serving is macaroni this, macaroni that, casserole this, casserole that. All you gonna do is stop up their goddamn intestines with that shit. Everybody walking around farting all the time. That's why if you working around white people, even in the office, they'll be farting and shit off them latte, all that milk and shit in them lattes. They'll sit there and be farting and it'll be like, I didn't do that. Fucking nasty bitch. He said Mac Death. Yeah, they lazy and they don't have no skills. They don't have domestic skills. We got black women today, 30 years old, can't cook. All they know how to do is open a can of fucking raviolios, some old nasty shit like that, and then cut some wieners up in it, and that's dinner. My mom never fixed that kind of shit. Now, she didn't have a problem with you fixing that for lunch for yourself, but my mom didn't make my mom made a full course meal. Now, my dad did too, but my dad couldn't cook that good. But he did his best. But a lot of these black women are lazy. But you have to understand, brothers, everything that white women do, everything that white women want to do, black women copy it. If white women are lazy and don't want to work, if white women are lazy and want to sell pussy, then that's what black women want to do. If white women are lazy and don't know how to cook, now black women want to be the same type of sorry shit. And that's why a lot of these, the only guys who will fuck with them are losers. You're right, JLJ Fit 504 HD. Hardly anything sold at restaurants and or grocery stores is fit for human consumption. As a matter of fact, most of it ain't even food. You think Funyuns is food? Look at the ingredients of Funyuns. You think you looking at some shit made by Dow Chemical. See, I actually read the labels. See, you have to understand. The FDA made a lot of these food manufacturers put, ingredient labels on the packaging. But they realized through research that most Americans are so busy that they don't read. See, I read because I can't put poison in my body. I already got health problems. I ain't gonna add to it. You digs? Yeah, I might smoke a cigar here and there, or I might, sip on some yak or whatever. But man, it ain't every day, and it ain't every week, and it sometimes it ain't even every month. And then two, if I drink, this is how I used to do back in the day. If I got fucked up the night before, when I finally woke up the next afternoon, I went to the gym and sweated that shit out. Okay? I'll tell all my relatives, if you got a athletic club that got a steam room, you better utilize that shit, because exfoliation will make your body healthy, because you sweating out all them impurities. You sweating out all them medications. You sweating out all the impurities. You're sweating out all them toxins from your food and your drink and from your water. I mean, they don't give a shit about our water, to the point where, the companies that sell us bottled water are getting the water from the goddamn city at bargain basement prices. That's what's happening in Flint and Detroit. Detroit public schools, half the schools got rusty, toxic lead poisoning in the water. Did y'all know that? That ain't just Flint. That's that whole area. Wayne County going up to Genesee County, up there to Flint. That's like 100 miles. Nestle buys the water from the city of Flint and Detroit at a bargain basement price. And they get the clean water, and then they bottle it, Nestle does, and they sell it to your black ass. Ain't white supremacy grand? Can you dig it, nigga? He said hamburger helper with some sunbeam bread. Exactly. Eat none of that nasty ass Euro shit. Bread will make you sick. Black people ain't got no business eating all that nasty ass bread. Now, if you know how to make if you got a bread maker and you know how to make your own bread, that's the only way you're gonna have some decent bread. And I guarantee if you make it yourself, it ain't gonna make you sick. But that shit you get out the stove, okay, from Mrs. Baird's and Sara Lee and all these other companies, that shit got poisoned. That shit is poison. Almost everything, almost 90%. I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's close to 100%. Most of the food you consume in America isn't even food. It's garbage. And the food that you do eat got so much insecticide and so many nasty chemicals, it's no wonder we people out here getting cancer. You digs? When I see people with dermal piercings, especially women, I look at them as, how is a business allowing you to work with the public and you got piercings all over your face? You got a damn nasty ass ring that look like it's done something to your skin, and now you look like you got the herpes on your lips, or your lip is all, you got a sore on your lip because of that piercing. That shit is not sexy, ladies. Stop copying everything them white girls do. That shit is nasty. Getting tattoos on your chest, getting tattoos on your legs. That shit ain't sexy. Especially when you get over 40. Wonder Bread, exactly. Masquerading as food. Exactly. But Christianity handicaps and hamstrings black people, because we equate Caucasians with white Jesus. And if Jesus is the Son of God, then we equate Jesus, we equate Caucasians as being God and Jesus. Or should I say the Trinity, the Holy Ghost, Jesus, and God. All of that is Judeo-Christian Roman Catholic bullshit. And you need to get off of it. I'll go to the Potter's house in Dallas. Let me tell you something about the Potter that runs that motherfucker. TD Fakes is nothing more than just a black capitalist. That's all he is. He has found a way to get out. He didn't have to pick that cotton, and he didn't have to work in them steel mills or work them hard labor jobs. So he found a way to hustle black people with religion. Just like Eddie Long or Eddie Longstroke, who's, passed away, Creflo, Big Dollar. And you got black people that come in there and let Creflo Dollar and TD Jakes just insult the shit out of them, and they still keep coming back for more. That's sad. But only desperate people go to church. Only desperate people subscribe to a religion the way we do. See, we are naturally spiritual people. See, spirituality and religion are two different things. See, religion is dogma. It's just like when I lived in the Middle East. As soon as you hear that, you hear that horn go off. Next thing you know, people dropping their cloths on the ground. They praying to the east. Like, what the fuck? And then they got fucking police walking around, and they will jail your ass if you ain't praying 5 times a day. That's dogma. That's religion. That's not spirituality. See, spirituality is when you go to these villages in Africa where the Maasai people, and you go to them, and right when it's getting ready, like right now, it's almost dusk. So you go out there and you sit with the people, and they smoke some hallucinogens, or they drink certain things that they've made for the last million years. And that unlocks that spirituality. And you'll see them, and they'll be in, you see, that's how the Caucasians and the evil ass Caucasians in Hollywood, when they make these movies and they talk about voodoo, that's what they're talking about, that African spirituality. And those people seem like they in a trance. They have a direct connection with God. That's what they're doing. And of course, they just ruined the American Indians. They had those same indigenous practices, but the white man clowned them so much that, first of all, the Indians that you see, if they don't look like us, they're not real Indians. They're pretendians. That's the first thing. The second thing, what you see right now is $5 white folks who are posing as Indians. That's why they be kicking black folks out them nations, because they're white. The Indians look like us. They got nappy hair. Some of them do have stringy long hair, but most of them look like us. Because I used to work with some black women I thought were Indian. I thought were black. And they were like, no, we're Native American. And I was like, when I now really got a chance to really pay attention to them, I was like, they had kind of curly hair, kind of stringy hair, but their phenotype, the way, because they were like brown skin, like about my complexion. Both of them were fine as hell. It was 2 sisters I used to work with. Fine as hell. The little sister was the finest one, but the older sister, the one that was my age, she was fine too. She was just kind of skinny. But the other one had a little bubble ass. So all the brothers was on her. Okay? But this is the history lesson you'll never get in public school. And this is the history lesson you'll never get in none of these colleges and universities. You know why? Because this is truth. And a lot of y'all can't handle the truth. That's why you unfriend me after you look at these live streams on Facebook. He called me a mammy, unfriend. Bye, nigga. Take your ass on. I'm gonna take a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, let me check these donations. See how much we got here. See. Okay, we're at $30. We got 70 to go. Come on, let's go. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go take care of some things. Y'all, you guys hang tight. You're tuned in to the Iceman Show podcast. I'm your host, the Iceman. I'm gonna be back in 2 and 2. Take a quick break. By the way, if you haven't gotten my book, go get it. This is my first book entitled The Game of Life, according to the Iceman Volume 1. It's a very good book. Got socioeconomic and political information in here. I break down white supremacy and racism, but I also break down white supremacy and racism as it has affected you as a Black man or woman or child. Okay, if you got teenagers, you need to get them this book. Black women, especially you single moms, get your son and daughter this book. But I also have dating in here too. And I break down simping and tricking. Now, my second book, The Dating Bible, will be all dating. But I start off breaking down white supremacy and feminism because all that shit affects you and me. You digs? Whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. But get my book, The Game of Life, according to the Iceman Volume 1. You can either get it at asktheiceman.com, scroll down to the add to cart button, or go on amazon.com and order it there. You digs? All right now. Be back in 2 and 2. Yo, yo, what up, though? Back in the place to be. Want to pick up where I left off. Let's get these. Hey, guys, let's try to meet our goal, fundraising goal tonight. All right. If you have not donated, listen to me. If you have not donated, you need to donate. Okay. Is it someone else's job to donate for you? Okay. And by the way, Mitch McConnell is going to get reelected. Don't get it twisted. You don't if you think that it's going to be that easy to get rid of Mitch McConnell just because some of y'all don't like him or I don't like him or whoever don't like him, that what you don't like has nothing to do with white supremacy. Okay? White supremacy doesn't care what you like. Okay? So get off of this. Every time somebody put up a billboard or somebody says, oh, well, you know, ditch Mitch. Don't fall. Black people, stop falling in line with that type of dumb shit. That's for Caucasians to play with. At the end of the day, they always gonna pick white supremacy over you. And you can sit here and be a dumbass if you want to, thinking that the people around you ain't one of them kind of people. You can believe that if you want to. I bet Terrence Crutcher thought differently. Trayvon Martin probably thought differently. Tamir Rice thought differently. Sandra Bland thought differently. And where are they today? Sleeping behind that gated community, in that gated community called a cemetery. Let's get real, black people. The playtime is over with. You got a full 10 toes down in the game, white supremacists in the White House. And you still playing. Playtime been over with. And voting ain't gonna get you out of this situation. Black people are scared to challenge white supremacy because they see all Caucasians as Jesus and God. This is why it's so easy for a black woman or a black man to pick up a knife or a gun and stab or shoot somebody that look like themselves or yourself. It's easy to do. It's easy to kill somebody that look like you. It's easy to shit on somebody that look like you. It's like that old saying goes, hurt people hurt people. Broken people break other people. And that's why I don't do relationships with broken women anymore, because I deserve better. I'm not going to waste my life trying to be your dime store psychologist. You want to work through your daddy issues, go use your medical benefits and go see a psychotherapist and quit bullshitting and stop putting that shit on black men. If you didn't grow up with your daddy, or you grew up in a dysfunctional type household like my ex-wife did, that's your fault. You deal with your shit. You don't put that on other people. It ain't the black man's responsibility to get the black woman's head straight. That's your job, black woman. Do your job. Instead of trying to find ways to get out of being responsible and accountable. That's why you're a single mom. It ain't because you ain't good looking, ain't because you ain't got a nice body. It's because the poison in here and here is why men leave your ass. Now put that in your pipe, roll it up and smoke it. Or put that in some rolling paper, put that in some Dutch Masters, roll it up and smoke it. See, I don't see Caucasian people as God or Jesus because I know the truth. Jesus was black and God is black. And once you connect with him, all that other bullshit you involved in, all that other bullshit you doing, all that goes to the waste. So you're going to be a lot happier. You see, I'm a lot happier now. Okay? Because you got to find your zen. Wherever it is, it might be somewhere outside of where you live at now. You know that, hey, I've lived in most places around this country. The only place I haven't lived is the Northeast, and I probably will never live that far east. Is because of the weather, and it's overcrowded in those areas, and it's too expensive to live there. I have a nephew that lives in New York. And he's like, man, it's ridiculous, dude. I got about 15 roommates. See, I can't live like that. I can't have roommates, dog. I gotta be in this whole big old house by myself. I don't want nobody else over here living. Now, Miss Thang can come over here, a couple nights a week and on the weekend and, working with no hands. But you ain't gonna get mail here. You take your ass over there to your house. That's why when I deal with women, they talk about you live by yourself. I'm like, why you ask me that? I ain't got no roommates. If that's what you asking me, I'm in a house, not an apartment. Oh, so who you live with you? Nobody, bitch. Why somebody gotta live with a nigga? Why can't a brother just live by himself? I don't want no motherfucking roommates up in here. The only dick swinging all over the place in here gonna be mine. You digs? Anyway. The reason why the Democratic Party has over 20 presidential candidates is because none of them are of any quality. It used to be, going back 20, 30, 40 years, first of all, it was never that many, even combined with both parties, there wasn't that many candidates. And people dropped out a lot faster back then. Today, they just keep hanging around because even though they won't make it past the primary, because they won't get enough delegate votes. But what they're trying to do is raise their profile. Maybe they're campaigning for 2024 right now. Amy Klobuchar, don't nobody know her ass outside of the Twin Cities. Don't nobody know who the fuck she is. And she ain't nothing but another Marcia Clark. That's all she is. She's another Ivy League lawyer with an Ivy League law degree. She pulled the same bullshit when she ran for Hennepin County district attorney. She had all these black women up there on her commercials talking about Amy Klobuchar prosecuted my ex-husband for beating me. Fuck is this shit? Where you find these ghetto assholes from? Paid for by the Klobuchar endorsed and by the Amy Klobuchar campaign. Now get the fuck out of here. I didn't vote for that bitch. Yeah, and I was living in Minnesota then. We got 20 presidential candidates on the Democratic side. Why? Because every last one of them don't bring shit to the table other than Ivy League education. That's it. They don't bring nothing of sustenance and quality to the table, particularly for black people. At that debate, was it last week or the week before last? They did not one time mention black people, but they mentioned LGBT. They didn't mention black people, but they mentioned illegal immigrants. You see how that go? Illegal immigrants who ain't citizens of this country got more social capital in this country than your black ass does, and your people built this motherfucker. Now remember, when they brought those African slaves over here, these dumbass crackers didn't know shit. There was nothing here. Talk about, well, we brought them over here to America. No, you brought us over here for us to build this country while you sit on your lazy dumb ass. And they still got that mentality. Watch Caucasian people at your job. especially if there's a significant amount of black people. You'll notice the white people will always wait for the black folks to clean up after them. They'll always wait for you to do stuff for them. But you would never do anything for another black person at the same goddamn job with your self-hating ass. None of these candidates are worth spit. None of them. Not Gildebrand, not Booty Cheeks or Buttigieg or Booty Cheeks, Mayor Booty Cheeks, Cory Booty Booker, Kamala Marsala Harris. Ain't none of these people talking, Marianne Williamson or whatever the fuck her name is. She just up there clowning. And I get tired of black folks. Was she talking about reparations? Yeah, she talking about reparations, but she ain't. What position is she gonna be in to provide reparations? She ain't getting past the primary. Yeah, she's raising money, but she's considered a fringe candidate. She ain't even considered a mainstream candidate. Why? Because she has no political experience. And all the liberals like the Gildebrands and the Klobuchar, all of them talking that illegal immigration shit. They talking that equal pay, equal rights for protections for homosexuals. Why are you supporting that kind of shit? Whenever I hear them talking about illegal immigrants, I'm like, why are you talking about people who are not citizens of this country? Well, they're escaping violence in their country. So? That's their problem. That ain't our problem, dog. Let that be their problem. If you got violence in Honduras, go home and fix that shit. Don't bring your ass up here. Because you have to understand, black folks, every time they let in one of these dirty foot, nasty, funky motherfuckers, they're coming over here to replace you in the workforce. Remember that. So while you're standing out there talking about abolish ICE, which they ain't gonna never do, sit your ass down. I get tired of seeing black folks out there. Abolish ICE. And see your black ass out there. Abolish ICE. So who gonna protect us from foreign invaders, you dumbass? You better have somebody on that goddamn wall. And another thing they ain't telling you, the Haitians and the Africans who are finding their way to Mexico and they trying to come up into the United States, guess what? You see how they let all the Hispanics in here? They turning away the Africans. Did y'all know that? Did you know that? You think you're going to hear that on the 6 o'clock news? No. They will not let those Africans and them Haitians into America. Y'all better wake up, man. You have to understand, we are a very young nation. And we have a lot of land, a lot of open land in this country. Even though we got 320 million plus people in this country, we still have a lot of open, undeveloped land. And some of it is in inhospitable areas. But when I drive through states like Wyoming and Montana, you drive through these huge million-acre Indian reservations. They got Carl's Jr., they got banks, they got all kind of, and they got casinos. Don't let these Indians fool you. I stopped at a couple of them. I knew I was on an Indian reservation, but I didn't really know how deep I was on one. Boy, they making money hand over fist. And so we have to get that designation like the Indians. We as American descendants of enslaved Africans, we need to get a special designation and tangible reparations in the form of cash, land, education, scholarships, and the like. I don't care nothing about the tax breaks. I can care less. I'll pay my taxes. I ain't got no problem paying taxes. I have no problem paying taxes. But that's how they look. The hustle that all these other races are running on you, you better wake up and stop bullshitting. Black women, get off the I got a degree and I got a job bullshit. Remember, the white zaddy and white mommy gave you that job. You didn't earn it. You didn't earn it. They gave you that job to poke their finger in the eyes of black men. Because if a black man and a black woman go up for a position, you can best believe they're only going to hire the black woman. They ain't hiring no black men in corporate America, not unless you're a coon or a sambo or a homosexual or a sissy. They'll hire you if you act like that. But they ain't hiring no straight up slang my dick in your face type black men like me and you. Or a type of black man that tell you go fuck yourself when you come out with that racist fuckery. You digs? Hey guys, let's get these donations up. If you haven't donated, please donate. Right now we're at $35. We can do better than that. Come on, guys. If you have not donated yet, you need to break bread. Let's stop bullshitting. If you want the Iceman Show podcast to continue, if you want the Player Circle podcast to continue, then you need to start participating. Nothing is free. Information is free. My time isn't. Let's get real. Let's start acting like men. A lot of you black males act like children. Whenever you're faced with some kind of responsibility, you start tripping, especially when you deal with your own people. Now, if I was Richard Spencer or some other white dude, you'd be on here giving me all your money. Matter of fact, you'd be mailing me your paycheck just for a pat on the head from White Zaddy. But they're not offering it. The Democratic Party is trying to get out of offering black people tangible reparations. And if that is the case, then we are not voting for any of their candidates. Because I'm going to tell you what the ticket's going to be. The ticket is either going to be Biden and O'Rourke, or it's going to be Biden and Warren. But Biden's going to be the top of the ticket. Why? Because of name recognition and the fact that he was a vice president for 8 years. Even though in the polls he's doing poorly, those polls ain't got shit to do with the actual voting. Because we know polls are garbage. We found that out with the 2016 election, where all the lies they were telling on MSNBC and CNN, they had Hillary Clinton won their election. They had her winning. I'm like, nah, ain't all these people voting for Hillary Clinton's racist ass. And when Hillary lost, what did she do? She soft-shoed, blame black people for not coming out and voting. Why should we vote for your fat ass? You ain't offering shit. See, black people, they tolerate us. They tolerate us. When you go into a bar or a restaurant, look at how the white folks look at you. Very few of the ones that work in there are going to be actually genuinely friendly to you. All white folks do in these service with these service businesses, most of the time they just half-ass, phony-ass grin at you. And they know most black folks would disarm themselves whenever a white person smile at them. And then you get up in there and they give you the worst service possible and then expect you to tip them. Let me tell you, you honkies who work in the service industry something. That myth that black people don't tip, that's half true. Black people do tip, but black people tip when they get good service. Black people don't tip when they get a racist asshole for a server who barely takes their order and then don't even come back to follow up. That's why we don't tip. We don't tip you because you a sorry ass server. Your bum ass. Go get a real fucking job. Ain't none of them B1. There ain't one presidential candidate that has black interests in mind. All of them, all they're trying to do now, all of them are trying to, when they see they throw out these dog whistles like LGBT and equality and immigration reform, or if they half-ass sort of talking to black folks, they'll say, "Oh, criminal justice reform." What good is criminal justice reform and you got white vigilante citizens blowing your brains out? What good is criminal justice reform if 80% of us ain't criminals? I ain't no criminal. Are you? I ain't been in the criminal justice system like that. Are you? Huh? Otherwise, why the fuck are you talking to me about criminal justice reform? I could care less because I ain't a criminal. That's an insult for them to even mention that shit to black people. Because basically what they saying in a roundabout way is, oh, y'all criminals, so we need criminal justice reform. Your skin is your sin. You dig? As far as these white supremacists are concerned, as soon as you pop out your mama's womb, you a criminal because of this. And I'm not talking to all Caucasian people. I'm not talking to all y'all. If you ain't a white supremacist, then I ain't talking to you. But I guarantee you got some in your family that need to hear this shit. Or you got friends that are white supremacists. None of those candidates are saying anything black people need to listen to. Biden included, with his racist segregationist ass. Y'all better watch that dude, man. Why you think Obama picked his racist ass? He sat up there and insulted Obama up there during the primary. The reason why Joe Biden got along with Strom Thurmond is because they're two peas in a pod. You want to be stupid? Believe Biden ain't a racist. All of those candidates, including Kamala Marsala Harris, all of them are trying to dog whistle to the casual, soft racist. Let me explain what I'm talking about. See, you got different types of white supremacists. You got the I'm a killer nigger, Confederate flag type white supremacists. But then you have the middle of the road Democrat white supremacists, like your Clintons or Clintons, or like some of the white folks you work with. They ain't gonna never call you nigger to your face, but they're always thinking it. And these are the type of white voters that Biden and all the rest of them are trying to tap into. Why? Because they know, based on the surveys and the polls that have been gauged on Black people, we ain't voting for them. And they know it. So now what they doing, they just totally ignoring us. They totally just jumping over Black folks. Because normally what they do, they just sing Al Green songs and come around us and talk that bullshit, give us fuckery, and then say, see you niggers at the polls. And we go out and vote for the Democrat because we ain't got no choice. Or we think we ain't got no choice. Oh, we got a choice, though. Sit it out. Sit the election out. Why you going to vote for Biden when you know he's a racist? Huh? What you gonna vote for his ass for? He'll be passing every old dumbass feminist bill. He'll be passing every old dumbass anti-Black bill. He'll be doing it up just like he did with the 94 crime bill. Let me tell you something about Biden's racist ass. Biden introduced federal legislation during his time as a senator before the 94 crime bill, which he was one of the sponsoring senators. They passed the cocaine. It wasn't called cocaine, but I'm calling it that. So for your reference, they call it the Cocaine Disparity Act. And basically what this did is it criminalize anybody that sold crack. Now, back then, who was selling crack mainly? Black people. Why? Because they were pumping that shit into our goddamn neighborhoods. And if you ain't got a job and you being economically deprived the way we have been since day one in this country, you're going to sell whatever you have to sell to put food on the table. You digs? By the way, this week, Snowfall about to come on season 2. Yeah. That's my show right there, dog. Hey, I'll be right back. Hey, y'all, if you haven't donated yet, get your donation in. Tuned into the Iceman Show podcast. I'm your host, the Iceman. If you haven't donated, Please donate. You still got time. I want to thank everybody who has donated thus far. I'm seeing some names I ain't seen in a minute. Appreciate you guys donating. Remember, those of you who are on PayPal and Cash App, remember, when you get ready to do your taxes for 2020, print out how much you've donated for the year and take that to your tax professional. Remember, all donations are 100% tax deductible. Why? Because you're donating to a nonprofit 501c3. You digs? Brown sauces, where you at, bruh? Exactly. I didn't vote for Obama either time because I haven't voted for a president in 20 years because presidents are selected, not elected. Okay? Habitual line stepper. I ain't seen you in a minute. You have to understand, people, politicians are prostitutes. They have to kiss every dollar that comes in. So if you're kissing money, it stopped whenever you see a politician, especially an amateur politician, first run for their first office, they're wide-eyed and they have all these ideologies, and then as soon as they get in there and figure out how poisonous and how much of a cesspool that politics is, you notice they change and become the same sack of shit that their predecessor was. Let's take, for example, Obama. Especially the Middle East. All of the kings all over the middle, the kings who are over countries that we are friendly with, like Jordan, they invited Obama and they were like, hey, we happy you president. Because they thought Obama, because he was a black man, he wasn't going to be doing all that sorry shit that he ended up doing, like killing bin Laden and all that kind of shit. All that was bullshit. Killing Gaddafi. That was real foul. That was real foul right there. Obama ended up being the same murderous, lying, dishonest president as his predecessors. And that's why he don't show his face, because he knows he's a pariah, particularly with black people. You notice nobody around the world is inviting Obama for shit. He is the first president that none of these world leaders or corporate leaders around the world want to talk to. Why? Because he ended up being the same kind of murderous sack of dog shit as all the other presidents before him. They thought he was going to be different because he was black. And what they found out is he wasn't nothing but a puppet and a shill for global, particularly the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. And the Crown in the UK. You better study up on this shit. The Bin Laden's family are friends with the Bushes. And he's the one that's responsible for 9/11. Nigga, please. They took over planes with box cutters. I thought they was going to stop selling box cutters at Home Depot and Lowe's. After that, that was an inside job. You could think it wasn't if you want to. We have no proof that any of those planes that ran into them buildings was actual airliners. We have no proof. And the little bit of proof we do have shows all white planes with no windows. Have you seen American and United Airlines with planes that are all white with no windows? Huh? Fuck out of here. Five minutes after 9/11, they had all of them guys' faces plastered all over the news. How the fuck did they know exactly who these guys were? Huh? That was a setup. Stop believing everything you see on TV. And guess what? The federal government is giving 9/11 victims reparations. They gave the Japanese reparations. They give the Indians reparations. They give the Jews, Jewish people who wasn't even in the Holocaust reparations. Why? Because Hitler's money machine was Wall Street. Did y'all know that? We funded the war on both sides in World War II. Now, who's your enemy? Hitler or your own goddamn people who run your own country? George H.W. Bush's mama, her daddy, was a banker, and he washed plenty of Nazi money. And the only thing they did, they didn't convict him. What they did is they made him shut down. Now, this is Bush's mama and Prescott Bush, his daddy. Wait a minute. It was her dad. That was her daddy that was running that scam. They made him shut down that operation, the investment bank, and he was able to keep $1.7 million. $1.7 million in the 40s was 30 or 40 million dollars today. And that's how Prescott Bush launched his political career, off that money that her daddy made off the Nazis. And you're going to sit up here and tell me that 9/11 was done by 19 Saudis who couldn't even speak English? Get the fuck out of here. The story they came up with is so far-fetched. Oh, they wanted to learn how to take off but not land. All of that shit sounds stupid as fuck. That shit didn't make sense then to me. Oh yeah, they'll turn around and give them dirty ass motherfuckers that ain't even citizens of this country. They'll go give them reparations. Oh, you've dealt with so much shit. Let me tell you something. Asylum seekers should be only for political prisoner type folks. It's always, the law states that it has to be politically, you have to be some type of political dissident in your country, not fleeing violence. Fleeing violence doesn't make you a refugee. That's why Trump is trying to change the law, the loopholes in the law, so that they can't come over here and claim refugee status or asylum status. Yet they turning away all the Africans and anybody with dark skin. You see how they play? You see how they do? So now you got a bunch of Haitians and Africans living in Tijuana, Mexico, because they won't let them through like they letting everybody else through. Oh, I bet Michelle Obama knows everything. She's a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. Her and Obama is. The Council on Foreign Relations is a nonprofit think tank that is secretive as hell. And they got, and all the only people they got as members are world leaders and corporate business types. They don't let ordinary people like you and me in there. That's why you have to understand that Obama wasn't a win for us. That was an L, because he did nothing for us. And he proudly boasted that he ain't there to do nothing for us. And some of you niggas sucked all that shit up. Now you see the truth, and now you're mad. Well, you should be. I could have told you from day one that was a setup, putting him in office. They put Obama in office to lull black folks to sleep around the world, not just here, but around the world. Because Obama was the one who was, even before he became a politician, he was over there in Africa helping set up what they got going on now over there, which is AFRICOM, which is having a military presence in Africa so they can go over there and steal them natural resources. Russia's over there in the Congo. Why is Russia in the Congo? Because they got uranium underneath the dirt. So you have to understand the continent of Africa, they have some very expensive materials in the ground and some very vital minerals needed for dummy devices like this. Okay? This ain't inside this smartphone. There's the motherboard is not made the way a transistor radio is made. There's certain specific minerals that can only be found in Africa, on the continent of Africa, nowhere else. And that's why America has a military presence. Russia's in over there, and China's over there. Why? Because those African nations are a bunch of coons and sambos. They won't give us dual citizenship, but they have the Chinese running around that motherfucker slapping the shit out of their asses. Fuck them countries over there. Hell, Jews can go to, Jews that are born here in America can go over to Israel and live. We ain't got no place we can call home. So fuck them jagged mouth, jive ass fucking African countries. Fuck them. I hope the white man take all your shit. Poop butt motherfuckers. Hope they take all your shit. You don't want to give black folks a dual citizenship, but you kissing the Chinese and the Russians and the Americans and the Europeans' asses. Fuck y'all. Yeah, I said it. Fuck y'all. The political politics in America is a joke. It's a joke. And if you buy into that shit and you sit in front of TV on watching MSNBC and CNN, watching that dumbass shit, you a fool. You wasting your time. Ain't nothing but political theater. These guys will sit there and call each other all kind of names and then be out on the golf course the next day playing golf, acting like nothing ever happened. Okay? Acting like nothing ever happened. And you'd be like, well, they were just arguing on the news yesterday. Man, that's political theater. And you can buy into that shit if you want to. Good luck. You ain't gonna get nothing out of it, but you like wasting your time. A lot of black folks like wasting time. A lot of you guys have no problem wasting time. It's in your nature to waste time. And you have no time to waste. You don't. Right now, it has been it's been stated by a couple black historians and economists that if black people stay on the course of being blind consumers like we are today, because remember, the American black person is a product, not a human being. So they have no problem killing you. And if you act outside of what they expect a black person to do, which is to entertain white folks in any or every facet of American society, whether it's amateur or professional, you're expected to entertain white people, and you're expected to be at their beck and call of any type of sorry shit they come up with. And if you don't do it, then there's consequences. Because remember, here's how power works. Power, you have to break power down to this. If you have power, that means you can punish and reward. Black people are in neither situation. So when you get these political pundits coming on TV talking about they're courting the black female vote, they see you as a commodity. Black women, there's no such thing as consumer power. That's an oxymoron. Consumers have no power. So when you go blowing all your money in Las Vegas at the casinos, or you go to the casinos in your state and blow your retirement on that bullshit and not get nothing in return, that's what you're expected to do. You're expected to be a blind consumer. That's why other races always come down to the black community and open businesses. Why? Because you're a captive consumer. You're the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. Because you are happy to spend money with people who don't look like you. But if a black woman or a black man opens a business in your community and says, hey, black man, hey, black woman, come patronize my business, you tell them to go fuck themselves. Fuck you, dog. I'm gonna keep going to these Koreans. I don't even know they call us nigga. Go ahead, take your ignorant ass over there. That's why they always court black people as consumers, because all we want to do is turn up. All we want to do is turn up, drink, smoke, fuck, and waste time. That's all we like doing. We know how to party, but we don't know how to live. And that's why we ain't shit. Well, most of us ain't shit. And that's why most of us are broke, because we spend every dime we get on dumb shit like video games, shoes, clothes, cars. You show me a black woman that worked for a living, and I'll show you somebody that's paying too much for a car note, too much for a house note, and got $5 to her name. Oh, but she got Manolos. She got $1,200 Manolo Blocknick heels, 4-inch heels, and no retirement. Because every time she get $5 in a 401k, she taking money out to go to Cancun every year. You're a commodity. You're not a human being. And when you act outside of that, which is what I am, white folks don't know how to act. See, white people get real insecure around me because I don't act the way most black people act. I don't start showing my teeth. I don't buck dance for them. I don't, like I said, they either want you to entertain them through sports or some other kind of entertainment, or they want you to be a blind consumer and give them your money. And in return, you think they giving you access to white privilege, and they're never going to give you access to white privilege. And you can live your whole life trying, and you'll never get there, because that's not the way America was set up. America was set up for you to be on the bottom and they on the top. Now, some of us might rise to the top for whatever reason, based on our talents, or we were blessed to be able to get out of poverty. or get out of the working class. But you notice once we get there, we lose our fucking mind. And all the money go right back to them. The people who stole it from you in the first place. Reparations, black people, is your birthright. You aren't you. It comes out of your blood. Okay, it comes from your blood. You deserve every penny that they gonna have to break off. You digs? You tell Biden and all the rest of the sorry ass, lying ass Democrats, you cut the check and we'll vote. We'll vote for you. I don't want to hear a promise. I want to hear, all I want to hear is pin to that check. That's all I want to hear is that. I don't want to hear none of this other shit. Cut the check and we'll talk about voting for you. You digs? Tell them to cut the check because it's long overdue. Hey, brown sausage, you right. You right. I've been telling black folks, how long have I been telling black folks to get their financial house in order? I've been telling black folks this shit for years. Stop blowing all your money on dumb shit. You ain't gonna never be accepted by Caucasians in this country. You will always be on the fringes. You will never be accepted in America, but they will take your money if you willing to give it to them like a fool. You bring in $1.3 trillion every year and you give 97% of it to everybody else. Only 3% of that money comes back to us, and that's why we starve. That's why we got hungry black children out here. That's why we got black men out of work, because we don't spend our money where we live. But then we want to sit up here and whine and cry about racism. I don't want to hear you whine and cry about racism and you don't spend your money with black-owned businesses, you fuckhead nigga. Don't sit up here and whine to me about Trump when you don't do what you're supposed to do. When was the last time you donated to a black nonprofit? When was the last time you rolled up your sleeves and got somebody out of poverty? See, I do this shit every week. And you black fuckhead niggas don't even want to donate. Fuck out of here. Get your financial house in order, black man. These black women ain't gonna listen. Black women are so fucking self-deprecating and self-hating, they ain't gonna never get on board. But black man, get your financial house in order. Just like Brown Sausage said, get your credit, pay off all your debt. Maybe keep one credit card that's accepted everywhere with airlines, auto mechanics, anybody. That's the card you carry. And you only use it for emergencies. I don't whip my Amex card out unless it's an emergency. I had bad credit for so long, the shit got good. All that shit fell off. And what didn't fall off, I paid it off. And exactly, Triple T Kill. They sitting up here, you sitting up here talking about how bad illegal aliens go. Oh, they drinking out the toilet. So don't bring your ass over here. The point that Trump's trying to make is don't bring your nasty, dirty ass over here and you got a home country. Stay your ass over there, you lazy motherfucker. We got enough people over here cleaning offices and hotels. Shit. Hell, I was in a hotel this weekend and I saw a black woman in there cleaning up. I said, God damn, look at these black women. If you an American black woman and you cleaning hotels, something, you done fell off. You fell off. I'm sorry. Because don't none but immigrants do that kind of work. You got to be some kind of a sorry black woman for you to have to sit up here and clean hotel rooms for minimum wage. Something done happened. You done fucked up somewhere. Stop buying cars on credit. Well, I want me a Benz. Yeah, you go. Man, I was at Costco the other day and they had a $65,000 BMW sitting up in there. And I looked at that little cheap ass, raggedy fucking piece of shit. And I said, if Americans knew how much Germans laugh at us, salivating over BMWs and Benzes, they laugh at you. Let me tell you something. When I lived in Europe, when you go to southern Germany, the taxi drivers are driving BMWs. When you in northern Germany, they driving Mercedes. What does that tell you if the taxi drivers are driving Mercedes and BMWs? Huh? And taxi drivers are the lowest of the low in every country. What does that say about the shit they make over there? Because they ship the raggedy shit over here. The shit they make in their country is way better than that. They don't ship their best stuff over here. And then on top of that, when you buy a BMW today, 9 times out of 10, it was made in Nashville somewhere. It was made in Tennessee somewhere. Tennessee. That shit ain't even made at the BMW plant in Bavaria, Germany. Why? Because it costs too much to make it over there and ship it over here. So what they do now is they make most of them over here. You think I want to buy a BMW or a Mercedes made by some lazy ass auto worker? Shit. Man, get the fuck out of here. Man, get your ass up out of here with that bullshit. The topic for Saturday's show, the Player Circle podcast. First of all, the show will start at 3 p.m. Central Time. The topic will be myths and lies that are told about black men. And we're going to break down all that sorry shit. Okay? So, brothers, if you want some uplift, if you want to hear some good game, tune into the Player Circle podcast every Saturday. You digs? Now, remember, Saturday, we try to raise $100. Today, we raised $40. To all the people that donated, thank you. Thank you for donating. Whether you donated on the Cash App or you donated at AskTheIceman.com. The X model BMWs are pretty good. Their motorcycles are good. BMW motorcycles are very good motorcycles. The X series is a good line. That's a good line. It's the 3 Series BMWs that are garbage. That's what I hear. I'm only going by what people say. And I know people that have driven BMWs, who own BMWs. Okay. But the X, you're right. The X series is a good car. It's a good truck. I wouldn't buy nothing that's made in Mexico. Not even a tortilla. But that's capitalism for you. They'll go and take your job, move it to India, move it to Mexico, move it to everywhere around the world, and then send it back over here for your unemployed ass to buy. Ain't that a bitch? The nerve of these corporate motherfuckers. Thank you, Brow Sausage. Love you, brother. That's a brother that always got my back. Okay? Y'all should try to be like him. Unequivocally, unconditionally, the brother supports the Iceman Show podcast and the Player Circle podcast. I wish I could say that about everybody. But anyway, the lies and the myths that are told about black men. We're going to cover all that shit Saturday at 3 p.m. Central. Hey, look here, y'all. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. You digs? You tune into the Iceman Show podcast. This was another fabulous episode of the Iceman Show podcast. I am your host, the Iceman. More bounce to the ounce, and I say what counts. Don't nobody go home till the fat man fucks. I holla Saturday, y'all, 3 p.m. Central. And I'm out.